For this video, I was down in Cleveland, Tennessee at Papa Odell's to test out some guitars to possibly add to my arsenal. At the end of the video, I'm gonna give you my initial impressions after playing these guitars at the shop yesterday, and also what I think after going through the video and editing it and listening to the guitars through the microphone. Also, for those that are interested in getting started on learning bluegrass guitar, check the link down in the description. I offer a huge beginner-friendly library of bluegrass lessons. I take you through basic chords all the way through fiddle tunes and everything in between. Let's get to the video. This first one is a guitar that a lot of you guys have mentioned in the channel and across social media and things like that. You say things like, this is a make of guitar that is slept on, and you might be right. This is a 1990 Alvarez made in Japan. Let me get this mic a little closer here. This guitar sounds great, and this is the cheapest one that I'm going to be showing today at $750, which includes the hard shell case. Got some signs of wear and tear. I enjoy how this guitar looks. I'm gonna mention here, I'm sure, about, I prefer this natural finish. I'm not a big fan of sunburst. I'm not a big fan of the glossy finish that I have on the Recording King 328 right now. But this one will do. I've seen some Alvarez's in the past, which I'm not crazy about. I think they're Alvarez's, like the bridge, honestly. This might be a contender. It sounds great. I wish there was a bit more low end, but nothing wrong with this guitar. I don't have anything bad to say about the headstock. I don't like a wild looking headstock, and I don't mind the inlay here, or the inlays on the fretboard. So all around, fresh, solid start. Alvarez DY-39. Guitar number 2. This is a Martin D18 from 2023. Years old. The color of this guitar is basically everything that I look for in a Dreadnought. So this automatically has my attention just based on the aesthetics alone. Again, we've got mahogany back and sides with spruce top. I like a simple Dreadnought guitar. I like the punchiness. I like the amount of bass in, like what comes from just like right here. It's got that distinctive Martin sound that I know a lot of you guys that watch the channel really enjoy. 2400 with a hard shell case. If you're interested in this guitar, which I can say right now that I am, check the link in the description. I'll have all the guitars here that I'm showing today. You can check them out on the website here. Very classic, very chic, lightweight, which I really like. Oh, and also it comes with a pickup installed as well. The Fishman pickup, which is what Martin, at least to my knowledge, is what they sort of use as their default pickup in a lot of their models. But so 2 guitars, and I've liked them both. Let me know what you think about all of these down in the comment section. Next, we have a Dreadnought D18 style guitar made by a company called Bedell out of Bend, Oregon. So American made, which is great. I think this one's gonna come up at like a bit under $4 grand. Remember, D18 style guitar, so mahogany back and sides. It's got that punchiness. I'm not hearing the bass response that I heard in the Martin D18, but still solid sounding guitar. Its tuners here are something that I would probably upgrade if it were me. I just don't like the brass look on you know, tuning wise on the headstock. I don't know a whole lot about these guitars, so if you do, let me know in the comments if you've ever played one. But yeah, classic sounding D18. Yeah, I would say this is going into the possible contender bucket, but let's go on to the next guitar. Okay, next up is a guitar made in the Czech Republic. So I've mentioned these in another video, but this is a used Furch. This is a Vintage 2 DSR. Sitka spruce top, Indian rosewood with a hard shell case included. This one's coming in at $1,900 and so this would be more of a D28 style with the Indian rosewood. And it sounds like that. It's a little bit less loud than the ones that I've played up until this point, but really beautiful sounding guitar. I played some newer Furchs a while back and they sounded great. You know, not the guitar that I would pick first, but this one is impressive. It's an older one, it's been played, it's been worn in. It's got a darker finish. I say darker finish. What I mean is it's not like super glossy and super bright. Cool inlay designs as well. And if you didn't know, I did another video that talked about how these Furchs have like an aluminum piece right here between the body, or where the body and the neck attach, that makes it to where it's supposed to not, you know, have to require as much maintenance, I think is the idea. But I'm not the expert at that. Anyway, Furch Vintage 2 DSR, contender, definite contender here. Okay, this next guitar is really the reason why I drove down here to Cleveland today. What I'm about to show you is a make of a guitar that's really making a lot of the rounds on social media. They even have a festival in Murfreesboro. This is a Gallagher Bluegrass Bell. I had the chance to play the Doc Watson version at Spigma about a month and a half ago, and sounded good, but in the atmosphere, it was really hard to get a good read on the guitar or listen to the guitar. But we're going up in price range for sure here. These are made in Tennessee, and you hear a whole lot of good things about a Gallagher guitar these days. And let me tell you, this sounds great. I think the difference right off the bat with this guitar here is that I think it's got coated strings on it, which is great for me. That's what I use. So right away, D18 style, sorry, D28 style, made a mistake. Packs a nice clean punch. I don't know if you can tell how the neck looks. You probably can. I'll throw some pictures up there. The neck feels so solid. I don't know what it's made out of. I'll put the specs there on the screen, but I will safely say that out of the guitars that I've played up until this point, it's got the highest price. It's also probably the best sounding here today. Really even, pronunciated sound, and it just... this one's gonna be hard to beat. Let's move on. Next up, we've got a couple Huss and Daltons to look at. Okay, the first Huss and Dalton I'm gonna show you here today is modeled after a D28 as well. It's the TR Pilgrim, if I'm not mistaken, or TD Pilgrim. I'll put it on the screen. This one's gonna be a bit pricier, but it's gonna give the Gallagher a run for its money. I know that Drew just got that Gallagher in, so the strings are fresh. That's the difference between these two. Well, one of the differences at least. But again, rosewood back and sides, spruce top, and Everything looks and sounds sturdy as can be. The neck is where, you know, I have to compare it to the Gallagher just because I just played the other one, but the neck is not as comfortable. So what we've done here is we've done a lot of jump price-wise, but now we're sort of, you know, about the higher end of what I'm going to show you here today. Price for me is probably going to put this one a little bit out of reach, but if you guys are interested, just check the link down in the description. If you call here or if you get in touch with the website, just mention my name. But these Huss and Daltons are made in Virginia. Again, this is the Pilgrim, so check it out in the link below. Okay, last guitar before I tell you my honest opinions about the ones that I've played today is another Huss and Dalton. This is DS Crossroads. The body style is gonna be more akin to a Gibson J45, so again, this is gonna pack a little bit of a different punch. Okay, no mystery here, I'm not a fan of the sunburst. Leave that for the mandolins or whatever else. I like the natural finish. And so, super sounding guitar. You can tell it's well made, sturdy feeling. I am not used to holding a guitar this small in my hands. And so let me know what you think about if the sound's coming out different or if you just can't tell, or if you're just like, you know, they're all the same. Unlike the previous Huss and Dalton, we do have the name on the headstock, which I prefer. We're not sure why they didn't include that on the Pilgrim model, but it's got that. Probably not a guitar that's going to be in the contender list, but nonetheless, here it is. If you're interested in this guitar, check the link down in the description. Let's go back and do a quick review. I'm going to share my top 3 out of all these guitars here today, all right? At the end of the shoot yesterday, I picked out 3 guitars that were standout guitars for me. This is not based solely on the sound, but also taking into consideration how the guitar looks, the price. I'm big on the price. You know, things are expensive these days, so you want to find the best bang for your buck. And also just little nitpicky things that I look at. So those 3 guitars were the Gallagher, which to me remains number 1, even after listening to it on the edit. And then I want to talk about the other 2. The other 2 being the $750 Alvarez and the Martin D18, okay? Let's start with the Alvarez. I couldn't find legitimate information about the tone woods, but what I did find was that the specs of this guitar change from year to year. So there was one, I think, that said it was like a D28 with rosewood back and sides. There was another one that said it was laminate. So I didn't know what to believe, but nevertheless, the guitar sounded great. Now to the Martin. So I have played and sung bluegrass songs for about half my life now, and I would be lying if I was saying that I didn't kind of fall into the Martin guitar mythos, right? Up until the Recording King, which I currently play, I only have ever played or owned an acoustic Martin. I've owned 2 DX models, one of which I'm holding right now. The point I'm making here is that there is something, I do believe, about my preference, I'm sure like so many of you guys watching, that just wants a Martin. And there's this sort of intrinsic value attached to that name brand. But the good news is there's also value attached to the guitars themselves. So when you get a Martin, you can basically, you know, bank on that guitar appreciating in value. So that's also a factor. But besides that, I mentioned on the video that the strings on this Martin were the oldest of the day by far. I think it's because it was a used guitar and somebody had brought it in. So I would be super interested to slap a new set of strings on it and see how it sounds. I think the price is good. It comes with a pickup, which is an added bonus. That being said, those were the top 3 from yesterday. But now to the nitty gritty. What do I think after editing the video, listening through them? Has my opinion changed at all about any of them? Not really, but I'm gonna add some notes here. I thought that my sort of initial review of the Pilgrim Huss and Dalton wasn't quite fair. Listening back to the audio, it sounds amazing. It sounds a little bit more, for lack of a better word, just deeper than the Gallagher. You know, I mentioned that the Gallagher had new strings on, which made it sound really bright. But yeah, when I go back to listen to the video, that Huss and Dalton really sticks out. But to wrap it all up, the Gallagher was the guitar of the day for me. Aesthetically, I think it looks amazing. I like the Martin style headstock, which you also saw on the Furch. Definitely will be checking Facebook groups and things like that for Gallaghers out there. So if you know of any, drop me a line. Folks, it's been a good one. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about all of these down in the comment section. I really don't think there was a bad guitar played today. It's going to come down to preference. But let me know. We'll see you. Bye-bye.